All right, you're welcome, everyone. Yes, I'm looking forward to a very wonderful session. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome, Silas. You're welcome to another wonderful episode of the Alive for a Purpose series. And today is going to be phenomenal as we have with us the a very wonderful guest. So I'm going to be reading her profile to you, her bio, shortly. You're welcome, Ms. Buroro. Oh, so Auntie Osayi is here and she's our guest for today. I'm just going to bring her up right away as I read her profile to you.
Yes. Hello.
Hello, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, ma'am. You're welcome. It's wonderful to have you on the show. You're looking as
Same
beautiful as
here.
ever.
Thank
Highly welcome.
you
We're
so
so
much.
happy. I've been looking forward to this session. Um, some people are just amazing, and we always know that we're going to be learning so much. So we're just going to go straight into it. I'm going to read your profile so that people can understand, because this would also be broadcasting on other platforms later. So everybody will get a feel of who our guest is. I know they know, but they need to know the details. That will help them to understand, listen better, and also prepare their questions. Okay, so we're going
Okay.
to go straight to that. We have with us today Mrs. Osayi Alile. She's a quintessential leader with over 20 years in the small and medium enterprise. That's what they call SMEs. And the third sector with a wide array of experience of covering international development, business and philanthropic management, fundraising and sustainability. Her degrees in sociology and public administration from Rogers University, New Jersey, prepared her to be a catalyst for change as she has revolutionized the non-profit sector in Nigeria and beyond. She possesses executive certification in LBS, Nigeria, IMD, Cranfield, Harvard University, and Yale. She's a member of the Institute of Directors, Nigeria, and of the CIBN Chartered Institute of Bankers of Nigeria Mentoring Advisory Committee.
Oh, that's
She's currently the CEO of She's currently the CEO of ACTS Foundation, a grant-making non-profit organization, and through her leadership, ACT Foundation has been named Non-Profit of the Year at the 2018 and 2019 Sarah's CSR Awards. Osayi Alile has served in various leadership capacities, including being the executive director at Faith Foundation. She's been the vice president, Junior Achievement of Nigeria, and CSR consultant Access Bank PLC. So guys, you need to really get ready. Recently, she served various leadership capacities, including being the executive director of Faith Foundation, and she's the past chairperson at the Women in Management Business and Public Publicity, WIMBIZ. Osayi Alile sits on several boards and was recognized by the World Economic Forum as Young Global Leader. And this is my own addition to the profile. She's strong, she's sweet, she's beautiful, and she's humble. On the few occasions that I've had to spend with her, something passed on to me. And there are women that are successful, but there are good women that are successful. And Auntie Osayi
amen to
is
that.
a good woman and a successful good woman. and she's somebody that's worthy of emulation. You know, so much success. You've acquired so much. You've made so much impact in the sector. Still so humble, looking sweet as ever. I was just going through her
Thank
profile
you.
today, and I was like, wow. So with that with that inspiring and very intimidating profile that I just read, you've studied so much, you've worked in so many different sectors, you've achieved so much, and it's very rare for someone to, you know, do so much and go through so much and not have a story to tell. And so we want just a brief story. We have about 30 minutes to do justice to this. So our first question is, just tell us a little bit about the journey to this success and this beautiful profile that I just read.
Hi, guys. It's a privilege and an honor to be here as well. Thank you so much for having me. You know, these things with platforms, you have to also understand that it's not every platform that invites you. So even if it's two people, three people, I always tell people, it doesn't matter. Come with everything that you have, and that's where the journey of life really is. For me, I like the word where you use journey because I'm just starting. I'm still on my first chapter. So I'm hoping that in another few years, we'll move to the next one by God's grace. So really, I've been in this sector now, in the nonprofit sector, for over 20 years. And it's not a sector that I actually felt I was going to get into. I stumbled upon it by incident. So I worked in the bank before I left to go and do my master's. So after Unilag, so I just thought to myself, oh, I'll do an MBA, enjoy my life, and, you know, make good money. And I started volunteering for a nonprofit, and it completely changed the way I saw things. I didn't understand it at the beginning, but I just felt to myself, this is where I should be. And of course, before I even came back to Nigeria, and I said, well, I want to work in the nonprofit sector. People was asking me, what's that? Who are they? Do you get paid? Is it volunteer work? It was a very difficult thing to break into because there were not many people like me that were in that sector. So you had the big foundations, and then I kept on wondering to myself, where am I going to? Where am I going to achieve? How am I going to achieve and become successful in this sector? But the only thing I remember clearly saying was I didn't care where I was. I just knew that I wanted to be the best in whatever I did. And so that's one of the reasons why I say that it's a journey. And I completely keep on going back to learning, to understanding, to opening my mind. And that's why you see all the times, you see I'm continuously going back to school because you can't know everything. And you always have to relearn a lot of things. And of course, even the circumstances we see ourselves in now, the challenges we're all facing, we're all on learning and relearning. So it's a process, it's a journey, and it's something I've enjoyed doing. A lot of challenges across the journey. It's not always as fantastic as everybody sees. When you read the resume, you're like, oh, wow. I mean, but regardless of what we see, the challenges do come, and then you overcome them and get up and move to the next one. And so that's where it's been in the last few years.
Fantastic. Wow. I love the fact that it's so filled up with learning. And that's why I want everyone to listen very well. Because just like she said now, when you read that profile or you see her from a distance, you're looking at how she's doing, you feel, oh my goodness, she's just been lucky. Maybe everything just fell on her table like a platter of gold. But a lot of work has been, exactly. So my next question is about ACT Foundation. What does ACT Foundation mean to you as a person? And how did you become the CEO of such an organization?
I mean, with Aspire Coronation Trust Act, for me, this is like something that I've looked forward to doing over the years. I've always been on the other side of always looking for funding, for grants, helping the communities that we're working with. So when ACT came up, it was actually not from a place of we're sure that's what we wanted to do. So when I was consulting, it came up from that consulting, and we realized that we needed something like this that was born in Nigeria, born in Africa, that will help Africans. Because we also have to realize that we can't always wait for solutions to come from outside, especially now. Everybody's taking care of their own problems. So we always have to look inwards and say, okay, what can we do? And how can we do things better? And so that's really what it came about in terms of how do we impact people positively? How do we impact the communities that we're working with? And I wanted to be a part of that. It's something I've always been interested in. So it's really about the positive impacts we're making in Africa. We're doing a lot of programs across Africa, but also supporting organizations to do amazing work as well.
Great.
A lot of the organizations we work with are the ones that actually go into the communities, and we support them. So I'm not only building and helping the communities, we're also building institutions in the nonprofit sector. And we want to be able to look back in the next 20 years and realize that the organizations that we've worked with are still standing. And that's one of the things that is foremost in my mind, because you find out that a lot of times when you start off with a lot of organizations, and it can be SMEs as well, in another 10 years, you are asking where they are, you don't know what has happened. A lot of them are falling by the wayside and stuff. So we're also building that repute as well, and trying to make sure that we're building sustainable organizations. So it's not just about doing work in the community, but building sustainable organizations that will outlive us, but also continue to do work in an African fashion, because we understand what the issues are that we are dealing with in our communities. We don't always expect outsiders to come and solve our problems for us, and that for me is what ACT is about.
Fantastic. So powerful and so inspirational, because I love the part where you talked about a lot of organizations, startups, SMEs, start 5 years down the line, they're nowhere to be found. Those that even survive by 5 years, they've even tried, upwards of 10 years. But you talked about it
Exactly.
outliving us, being a solution more than just us doing the work for our own season and our own time and generation, but now outliving you and then creating industries and institutions that will be there, that the next generation can actually, go back to and say, okay, this was by the result of the works that were done, by ACT Foundation. Fantastic.
Yes.
So my next question is, through your leadership at ACT Foundation, it was named Non-Profit of the Year twice, 2 years in a row. So what are some of the tips that you think helped to make this great, or helped you to be a great leader? And what can aspiring leaders and business owners learn from you and learn from this?
I must say that it's one of the things that I've enjoyed the most, leading this organization. Also, I mean, Non-Profit of the Year, it's a big deal, especially because we're just 3 years old. So people when we won the first one, everybody was asking, so when did you start? About 7 years ago. It's as if you guys have been in the sector for. I said, no, well, the organization is new. We just started. So it's actually a fantastic thing. But you see, I come from a point, I've built myself as an individual, as a leader over the years. And I still have a long way to go. I'm still learning on the job. And I tell people that also you learn from other people. You learn from your staff, you learn from your colleagues, you learn from other people outside of the organization. So my mind is always open to learn. I mean, if people know, the people that know me, they know I'm always listening to other people's podcasts. I don't care about age or seniority or whatever. There's always something to learn from someone else. You can never know everything. It's impossible. So I say that one of the first things to do is find your own style. I mean, I have my own style. I'm completely different from somebody else. And I realized that I focus on my own lane. I tend not to look at, I pick tips here and there, but I tend not to want to lead in the way other people have led, because I want my leadership style to be sustainable. I want people to say, I worked with her when she started 10 years ago, and somebody else is saying, I worked with her now. And they're practically giving the same things, that Osayi is like this, Osayi is like this, and nothing else has changed. The only thing they might be saying is that, okay, she's gotten better. She used to be like this before, she's even better. That's, so that's what, so you have to, your leadership style has to be concurrent with who you are as a person. And then you continue to build it and you continue to make it better. So find what your style is. Ask other people their opinions. I ask them a lot. I ask even my assistants, what do you think? And my office, they know I always ask, what do you guys think about this? Is it something that we should do? So I worry about where my team is headed as well, because I also want them to grow. I want them to develop. I want them to be better than me. I cannot work with people that are not better than me. I expect them to be better than me. I want in another few years to be able to look back and they are winning awards. They've left me. They've gone to better organizations. They're doing much better in whatever they're doing, and also learn as much as I've learned as well. So I'm continuously doing it. And I understand that I have strengths and I also have a lot of weaknesses as well. So I'm learning to adjust as I move along. So also beef up your communication skills. So the first thing, of course, is finding your own style, your communication skills as well. Everyone speaks in different ways. We all communicate in different ways. So starting out, you should aim to over communicate with everyone on your team. Let them know. We had a meeting this morning and one of my staff wasn't on the meeting and they said, oh, she's having issues with the internet. I said, get her to call me or I'll call her. And I'm sure she was wondering. So when she called, I said, how are you doing? Is everything okay? How are your family? And she dropped. I'm sure she's wondering to herself, why did she have to call me? But I want to know how she's really doing because, I mean, if something goes wrong with them, it also affects me as a leader and affects how my organization is run. So I'm continuously checking. So how do you learn these things? How do you move forward? How do you over communicate with it? But secretly worry about how you use your grammar. How do you speak? My son will say, my mom is speaking like all these olden days ladies, you know, so I'm continuously trying to speak better, learning new words, you know, so we're always learning. And whatever you lack, you find the skills and then you move forward and you learn. And then also the third thing I'll talk about is learning how to build solid teams and networks outside of your group. Once you have a strong team, I tell people every day that a lot of things are done in my office by my team. So we take the glory together and I enjoy it as well because I allow them to accomplish a lot of things because it also gives them a sense of accomplishments as well. So we keep on building strong teams, and once you build strong teams, you also enjoy the benefits of it. You cannot carry everything by yourself. It's impossible. So those are the things that we should look out for as well. And once you do that and make sure that what they're contributing is also important to you. You're not asking them just because you want to ask. So I'm hoping that as I'm saying these things, my team members are thinking, okay, yeah, that's how she is really. But I ask questions a lot and I delegate a lot of things. I don't speak on I was supposed to have two conversations this week. I made sure one of my team members went to go and attend one because you have to give them the room to grow as well. And I said something else I mentioned was also making sure you have a strong network outside of even your area of competence. A lot of times we all get stuck in our own circle of influence and forget to look outside. If I keep myself in the nonprofit sector and the SME sector, I'll realize I'm going to have a problem. So I always go outside of my circle and build more networks and build more people around me because those things, that's where leadership also is necessary because it always helps you when things do occur. Then learn to follow. A true leader should be able to follow at every time. It's not every time you lead. Sometimes you might be leading in your own organization, like something they put you in a team somewhere and you just cannot function because you are used to everybody saying yes to you or being in the forefront. You should be learned to be quiet sometimes and allow somebody else to lead. Keep an open mind to it, give merit when it's due, and also join a team that you're not the boss. Because you also learn while you're sitting on the other side. Because now everybody's abusing the organ, and then you're saying, "Oh my goodness!" So this is how they'll be talking about me as well. So I have a lot of teams that I'm not the boss, and I'm quiet. I learn. They delegate things to me. I do it. I get it done. I make sure it's done. Even if sometimes I go back to my office and ask a few of my team members to join me. But I also want to achieve the best in that team. So continuously I'm striving. So I want the boss in that team to tell me that I'm very good as well. So I insist that I do the best. So I keep on making sure that both of them, you kind of balance it out because your ego doesn't take control of who you are. A lot of times we allow ego to take control of who we are as people.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, man. That was so educational. I've learned so much in there because truly I've not thought about intentionally fixing yourself in places where you're not the boss, where you're not the leader. When you've already become a leader, you now go back to where you're not the leader and then you learn more. And there's so much to learn there, the communication, the network and everything, and just continuous learning, that openness to learn, and then your own style, which a lot of people don't have their own style anymore. They go after people, they follow models. They now say they have a mentor. Your mentor is not particularly to copy her completely. Your mentor is to give you guidance in your own style. And so that brings me to the next question that we have, because so many SMEs in this particular season, there's been a global pandemic and it hit everywhere, all over the world. It's not just Nigeria, it's all over the world. And so many SMEs have been hit by this season, the lockdowns, the bans here and there, and so many different things. So what is your advice to them, Ma? Because you have that experience in that specific
Yeah.
area. How can they adapt to this change? What are the things that they need to put in place for them to thrive now, not later, right now in the midst of it?
I mean, first thing, and SMEs and NGOs, we're all the same because we're all businesses running and, of course,
Yes,
achieving
ma'am.
different bottom lines. Yeah. So, I mean, of course, I always tell people in any business, the first thing you should look at is your funding remodeling and how do you, not only in terms of raising fund, what is your bottom line and how can you manage yourself? So, even for me, that I'm a grant maker, as soon as we started seeing that something was going to go wrong, even before my funding was even, we had issues with our funding, I had to go back to the bottom line, and I began to ask, what do we do different? Who are we owing? Who is owing us? What do we do? There's an urgent need to carry along everyone that you're working with and managing, as someone as a financial man, managing the finances of your organization and seeing as best as you could, what can we do? The only thing I must say is that a lot of us, of course, nobody anticipated what is happening. Even if we all
Exactly.
had, yes, even if we all had an idea, I've always been one of those people that feel to myself that I follow the biblical rule. There's lean years and there's years of plenty. So I've always known that the most lean years must come. But of course, we didn't expect it to be this kind of lean years where the whole world shut down. So from the beginning, I've always been one of those people that say, okay, we must have an endowment fund that is strong. We must be prepared for if anything happens, we can survive without anything coming in for the next 1 year or 2 years and just be
Wow.
there. But it's not every organization that can do that. And so I do understand that it's difficult to do. But you as a leader must begin to think, how do I manage my financial? What do we do different? And of course, the world is upside down. Everybody knows. We're all trying to find an adjustment to it. I don't like to call it the new normal because I actually don't want it to be my own normal. I just know that
Yeah.
it's going on and we have to manage the situation. So businesses are connected. Yes, it's not the same thing as is happening today. Of course, there's a new word called pivoting. We all have to pivot our businesses to the next level. So we have to continuously begin to think, how can we do things differently? How do we manage our sales virtually? How do we do, so things that you just normally will not do. Even for us, we've never asked for a grant before from another organization. We started looking for grants for our grantees. So those are things that you would just not normally have done because we are a grant making organization. But we now start saying, we can be a bridge for these people. So give us the grant and we'll work with the organizations to make sure they accomplish the goals. And so those are things that we have to complete when I talk about relearning and unlearning a lot of things and asking questions. And this is also not the time for you to go into your cocoon. You have to begin to talk, find out what is going on. Because the more you speak to people, someone asked what's the new word, it's business pivoting, pivoting. The more you speak to people, the more you are aware that something is happening and we begin to do things differently. Offer your customers something different. And this is not the time that you say, oh, I don't like customer service. No, this is not the time because people do not have patience and everybody's irritated at this time. So people want you to give them excellent service. They want things to be done a bit different. I was online the other day and someone that sells clothes, she was saying that between a certain time, between 2 and 4, she's going to be modeling the clothes for us to wear. She will show us what, and if you want it, she just type out and she'll send it to you. So she was wearing the clothes, testing it, looking around. Then you tell her to turn around, she will turn around. And she had girls in the shop doing all that. I mean, this is not what you normally have done, but you have to think, you have to sell. People just have to continuously make money because we still have bills to pay. So find ways, look for online courses that you can get in. I mean, some of us are here listening to this, we are learning 1 or 2 things. So look for online courses that you can get involved with. And there's some certified courses as well. And this is also the time, if you have a downtime, to also get some certifications that you've been planning to get for so many years and you've not just had the time. So just think outside the box. You're so right, Chijo. Think outside the box, think differently, ask questions, get involved, speak out your mind, and then you find out that people will begin to direct you on what's the best way to do this. And so those are the things that will help.
That's so beautiful because a lot of people are keeping quiet. We've noticed that some people are shy to really talk about how bad they've been hit. Some people are not relating, they're not asking for help, they're not asking questions. And now you've seen it once again that you need to ask, you need to talk, you need to make adjustments. Just like she has said earlier, that they made plans that where the organization could even still run for like 1 year in a case whereby nothing was coming in. But nevertheless, they still made adjustments whereby they also started asking for grants, even though they're a grant making organization. So if you're an SME, you're already in business, whatever it is that you're already doing, you're hearing it for yourself now that you need to make the adjustments necessary and ask questions. There might be something you were not doing before that your organization or your company can do. And by the time you start asking questions, you'll see that, oh, I can do this. This is what people need at the time.
Exactly, Caroline. Yes.
Yes, ma'am. So, and the other part that we want to talk about, that whether there was a COVID situation or not, we knew that there were challenges in the business sector in Nigeria, in the SMEs and the startups. And because of your experience in business, people wanted to know that what are those major challenges that you think they should be addressed, whether there's a new normal or not, whether everything goes back to normal in Nigeria and across Africa in terms of businesses and SMEs. What are those challenges that we need to deal with and take care of?
I think we have a major issue with internal structuring. A lot of us SMEs are not structured the way they're supposed to be. You find out that a lot of times when I speak to SMEs or try and help them to get their business on the right path, the first answer they'll give is, we have a lack of access to funding, Osayi, we have no money, we don't know where we can get money. But when you start looking into the business, you realize that there are a lot of internal structuring that is going on wrong. And that if they actually rectify those things, then funding might come in easier than normal. Then, of course, issue with skilled labor as well. We have a major issue with getting the right people to work with and stuff like that. So I mean, those are the things that are still issues that we are facing as SMEs in Nigeria today, and we have to continuously. So that's why I tell people now that if those are issues we are facing before, and now you have some time to rectify it, try and do the rectification right now, and get and begin to adjust a few things and get people that can work. And you know, now because a lot of people have a bit of downtime, you can find people that can give you 2 hours of their time. They are your friends. Can you help me check my books? Am I doing things the right way? Is my bookkeeping right? Ask questions. Just ask. What they can say is no, and you say, okay, if you do it, I can. I mean, just ask questions, and of course, make sure you have in your mind who you can also refer them to that you can help. So if there is in the fashion industry and you have 5 colleagues, if the person does the 2 hours for you, you can now introduce them to your other colleagues and say, okay, he normally collects 100,000. Says he will do it for my friends, but I can find 5 people for 50,000. People know that it's 100,000 they normally. So it makes it easier for them to say, okay, let me get involved with this person, and he did my books well. So try and begin to clean up your act. I tell SMEs, you cannot build a 2-story building on a foundation that is not even for a bungalow. It's impossible. Because once you start doing the 2-story, it's going to crumble. Once your foundation is not strong, you have not done things properly. Management has a problem. I mean, everything is not going well. Your strategy to even building the business is not done right. Once you begin to get to a point, that's why you see when businesses were looking for them, they've all disappeared. So you have to begin to make sure that the foundation is strong. So the more you grow as an organization, the stronger the foundation can hold you, because lean times will come. Something happens to your brand, personal brand, your business will shake. But if the foundation is strong, it will still stand, irrespective of what is going on. And that's what is important, making sure that we build foundations and organizations that are very strong. Plan for growth, as someone said. He said it will definitely crumble.
Okay, so I like what you said in the beginning, ma'am, when a lot of people are complaining they can't get money, and then when you look internally, you see that it's the structure that is the issue. And a lot of people would come to organizations like yours, like Act Foundation, and say we need a grant, and they would think, oh, it's just, we're doing business, please get us a grant, get us business. So we want to know, even though the season might not be the season whereby a lot of grants will be granted, but things are going to go back to normal. And then how do people start? Because that can be part of what people are going to do this season. If they know that, okay, my organization is not grant worthy because of the structure, why don't you use this time to start putting those structures in place? But we have somebody like Auntie Osayi here today that can tell us what are those things that make your organization grant worthy, or what makes an entrepreneur grant worthy.
Okay, I mean, I'm glad you said entrepreneur as well, because it's the same things anyone will look for. So even when you're looking for all these loans, free, people call them free money. It's never free money, but everything that people, all the incentives that we're coming up with now. I mean, you have to ask yourselves, are we within our focus area? What we're doing now, is it something that is within our focus area? Because a lot of times, because things do happen, we tend to change some things. We want to change it quickly to adapt to whatever the environment is saying. But I always tell people, your adaptation must be you have to be carefully adapt, so that you don't go outside of what your mission is and what you have stated that you came to do. Is your project sustainable? Regardless of what you are seeing, people are looking for things that at least we know that after this whole pandemic, it's still going to survive what we're all going through and the challenges that we're facing. Is it scalable? Is it an innovative project? So sometimes you might have 3 different projects in your coffers. Try and look for one that you can use as the main one that you can showcase and show and push forward. And don't go with like 5 businesses, 5 different ideas, because once people see that, they just feel that you're not focused and you don't know what you are doing. So try and look for 1 or 2 that is the main crux of what can help you sustain the rest of the organization. Do you have a good governance structure? It's important to anyone. They want to make sure you're registered. You have people that's at least working with you and stuff like that. Are they fiscally reliable? That's what we want to also be sure that your finances are in the right order, even if you're not making so much money. We're also worried that a lot of SMEs put their hand into the coffers. So we want to be clear that those things are done and they're done in the best way possible. So when you get the funding, you actually use it for the right thing. So those are the things, as custodians of limited resources, it's important for us to know that we meet each other at these requirements. Once you do that, it makes it easier for us to relinquish this funding to you, because no matter what you say, the funding came from somewhere and people will hold us accountable for that fund. So you have to find the best support, and we also have to find the best projects to give that support to.
Fantastic. I wanted to ask one question before I get to my next question, because of something that you just said. Does it have to do with, does these organizations or these entrepreneurs, do they have to have any financial background that shows them credit worthy or grant worthy? Does it have to do with their financial books?
No, not necessarily. No, not necessarily. Of course, as a leader or a CEO or a founder of a small business, you must be able to read your own books yourself, because if you don't, they will mess you up completely. But of course, if you have a good team, someone that's, even if they have not a full-time staff, but you tell me that someone comes in once in a week or once in a month to check your books, make sure everything is in order. I mean, as long as you have that process in place where we can, and the truth about it is that we can always see. I look at finances all the time. I look at it and I can tell you what, if someone is giving me squabbles or they're just playing around with their books and all that. So once you can do and showcase something to me or to any organization, it's a bit easier for us to manage the situation going forward. Yeah.
So if they don't have any financial background, it's an entrepreneur, but what they're about to do is really innovative. It's really inspiring. It looks like something that will stand the test of time. Do they stand a chance of getting a grant, or what can they do?
Yeah, they necessarily not have to have the financial background, but they must be literate in understanding what their books are saying. Because if I ask a question, you must know, even if you are telling me that an accountant did my books for me. No, you must be able to tell me, this is what we brought in that month, and this is what we've taken. You must be able to you should understand some basics, and that's what I'm talking about, for us to keep on learning. And there's so many trainings out there in terms of understanding books, simple trainings that we can all do right now. And let's look for them, let's do them, and so that nobody takes you on the long ride as well.
Fantastic. So this is even the best time for you to go and get those trainings, go and get that knowledge if you're looking to getting a grant or getting some sort of support. But then for a startup, a complete startup that has never done business before, is just starting and afresh, are they worthy of grants as well?
I mean, we won't take them. We have I know some organizations that do. So, everybody has their different requirements. We will take from 2 years and above, and you have to show some form of financial records. So I know some organizations that will not even, they don't even care if you just started or whatever. So you have to look at what the requirements are and follow through on those requirements.
Okay, ma'am. All right, I hope you guys are getting that. Someone asked, do you people generally accept business proposals? I think the way you propose to a grant organization that helps with grants is by business proposals. I don't know if
Yes, we do them as
answer that question.
proposals. So you have to do, and we have calling times for this. So we work with social enterprises. So it must be a project that is giving some social good to the. You can make money from it, but it must be giving some social good to the community, and those are the things that are important as well.
Great, great. All right, thank you so much for answering the question so well, ma'am.
Thank you,
Looking
Tony.
at your experience and looking at all what you've been through, I love the way you talk. It's so empowering. So it's so powerful, yet there's that space of humility inside it where you talk about you keep on learning. You're just all about the learning. And that I think that's part of your strength, your growth and your strength. But then with that, as much as it looks like you're very successful and you've done so much in life, people like you normally would have times that they had highs and lows and some experiences that really shook you. Maybe you would want to share that with us and how you got back up and how it affected you positively, something like that.
Okay, I mean, some of them have affected me negatively. I mean, that's life. We all
Wow.
go through good times, and I think I even mentioned it in terms of business. There will always be lean years, and there will always be fat years, and it's the same way I see life as well. The only good thing the only thing I would advise anyone to do is that once those times do come, you have to just get up and just keep on going. And I've just learned to just yes, I have some days I just stay in the house and I'm just not happy about everything. And then one day I just wake up and say, okay, Osayi, enough is enough. Pity party over. All right then. And of course, having the right people beside you and around you that if they haven't heard from you for a few hours, they can send a message. What's going on? Are you okay? What's happening? And all that. And then after a while, by the time you have good friends that will send 2 messages, after a while you start laughing or they'll start sending you rubbish to read. So you must I've learned in life that I can never, this journey in life, it's not a lone one person journey. I don't want to walk it alone. I know we have a lot of introverts, extroverts, everybody's different, but I've just refused to walk it alone. I have some very great friends. I have a fantastic family. I come from a family with 8 children, and my siblings, I talk to them practically every day. So when life is full of those ups and downs, and when they do occur, I mean, I can give you 101 of them that has happened to me over the last few years. Some of them have broken me, some of them have made me stronger. And the breakage can take some weeks, some days, even a few hours. Of course, we all go through healing in different ways. But you must realize that healing must come. And when it comes, you must be willing to accept that healing. And once you do that, then it's easier for you to continuously move on your journey. And I just refuse to stay on a journey that is static. So continuously, I just wake up and dust myself and move on. So all of us we all have to go through these things. And we must be ready for it. Even if it hasn't occurred in your life,
Exactly.
it will come. And that's what life is about. And then you get up and move on.
Is there anyone that you would have said is the lowest, that was the worst experience in your
Kai,
career?
if I tell you the lowest, maybe a lot of them will leave the group. They will not want to listen to me anymore. This girl, she has many problems. But for me, let me give you one that everybody goes through: death. I'm grieving. I lost my father. My father was oh my goodness, everybody knows how close I was with my dad. And he died. I mean, everybody was like, oh, good age. I knew it was a good age, but it completely broke me. It took me almost a whole year, if I'm more than a year, to get over it. And everybody in my office and my friends knew I was going through so much pain. I think it's only this year, maybe beginning of this year, end of last year, that I kind of started feeling myself again, because I used to look at him. It was like a cover, complete cover over me. And so as soon as he died, it was as if someone I stood practically naked as far as I was concerned. So everybody goes through it in different ways, So I'm giving you one that at least we all go through: grief. Yeah. Grief happens, and we all deal with grief in different ways. But I've had so many issues I've dealt with: work, personal life, so many things that we've all gone through. But in all of it, we must realize that there's always a room for us to learn from it, to grow from it, to wake up from it, to smile from it, and that's the joy of life. And so people always ask me, I always smile. I say, because there's always a tomorrow. Once God wakes me up in the morning, that is a new day. Joy comes forth. And I always just realize that, okay, it has happened now. Let's move on and let's do it. And it makes life easier to live.
I love it. I love that part where once you wake up in the morning to a new day, it's an opportunity for you to start. Just start. Get yourself up and get yourself going. Just like this particular project, the Alive for a Purpose series. Alive for a Purpose, you've woken up this morning. That means there's a reason why
Exactly.
to
Exactly.
maximize that opportunity. And then it brings us to
Exactly.
the last question that I have here. That you when you started, you talked about this new normal, because a lot of people have been shouting this new normal, and sometimes it even sounds scary. It sounds a little bit, what are we to expect? What are we to do? So your own perspective in regards new normal in general, and what do you think people should just do with this information, as just last information to give them, something to encourage the people, this perspective of
Okay.
new normal, and how should we work with it, or what should we do about
Kai, I'm the wrongest person to ask because I refuse to allow this to be my
it?
new normal. I hate I'm trying to run away from it. I mean,
Yes.
it's where we see ourselves at the moment. And of course, we all have to adjust to it. I think the first thing everyone should do is manage your mindset, your mind,
Yes, ma'am.
and your space, who you are as a person. Guide your eyes, your ears. Just
Yeah.
protect you, your mind,
Yeah. Yeah.
because this season can mess your mind completely. It can make you feel as if, oh my goodness, what is going on? Everything is going. This all that. I mean, in January, we had so. I mean, I was looking at my book the other day, and I was thinking to myself, look at all the things I planned for myself. This
Mm.
year 2020, and I mean, I just thought, oh my goodness, but you realize that when it's not only you, there are so many people that are in this situation. It's not only about you. And then guard your mind, guard it, guard your joy, guard your positivity. That's for you as a person first, and that enables you to deal with the daily downsides of life. Then, of course, in terms of your business and life in general, start looking for ways to partner with other people. What are they doing? How do we get involved? What do I do? How can my business survive? I need to collaborate on new innovations, talk to new people, find out what they are doing as well, and stuff like that. So that also enables you, and even in terms of partnerships, it doesn't only have to be in business. It can even partnerships even in your personal life, even exercise now. I'm trying to lose weight, or I'm looking for, I always look for partners. I'm like, who can join me on this journey, because it makes it easier when you are holding somebody else's hand.
Definitely.
So find what works for you, and go into your own self and say, okay, how do I survive this season, and what do I do as Osayi Alile first, not as Act Foundation. Then once you find that, then you go to family. How do we survive as a family? My children in the house, my husband or my wife, and all that. Even your siblings,
Wow.
your parents. It's difficult.
Yeah.
It's a difficult time. Mostly when you're the kind of person that people lean on a lot. It's as if sometimes, a lot of times, you think you're giving a lot, giving, and then you expend so much from yourself. So you have to consciously, gather and build yourself up again, so that you can always give back. So those are the things I will ask us to do.
Wow.
Think a bit differently.
Wow.
Even what you plan for in January, try and clean up a few things, manage it. And even if it's not going the way you planned it to be going at this particular time, just be grateful for it all. That we're still standing, we're alive.
Mm.
Even if you were ill, or somebody was ill and they are doing well at this moment, let's just find little things that we're grateful for, and have that attitude of gratitude, and it enables you to make the journey easier.
Right.
And not only in gratitude only for yourself, even for your business, for your family, and that helps as well.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Like this has been the most practical response in terms of how to manage the new normal that I've heard. And I am so grateful for it. Guys, if you have any questions, we have about 5 minutes to go. Start sending your questions in the comment section. But really, this has been so beautiful, because even I have had points where I was just thinking, look, I need to deal with my mindset. And I felt selfish. I felt like, oh, you're thinking about yourself too much. But just like Auntie Asaya has just said, you have to first of all take care of your mindset. Then after that, you extend
Yeah,
it to your immediate family, then others like your
yeah,
siblings and co. Because if your mindset is not in the right place, you won't even be able to take care of anything else. And if you're someone that
no,
a
not
lot
at
of
all.
people and a lot of things depend on, then you're going to have to be in the right place. So first and foremost, what
Yeah.
your eyes see is important. What you listen to is important. Just try and
Yeah.
stay in that positive place. And she said one of the most important things that would help you to do that is any little thing that you can be grateful for. Gratitude. Check for the positive things that you can see and be grateful for it. And then begin to put those things in place. If you have any questions, please send your questions in. We've had a wonderful time. So much knowledge has gone forth, so much practical knowledge that
Thank
you can
you.
actually put to work like immediately. Immediately after this session, go and start putting these things that you've heard today to work. Make the best of it. And she made it so simple, powerful, simple, practical, applicable, so that you can get results that you can use during this season and even after. Because I thank God that I'm not the only one that's hoping that this is not the new normal. I don't want to accept it. And I thank God that coming from someone like Auntie Osayi, it's hard to ask questions now, someone said, because you virtually answered every area. She's covered it all, you know, and people are so impacted. And I always say something, when you get an opportunity like this, opportunities are things that come to you, and sometimes you have to create it. And having Auntie Osayi on today is an opportunity. I've already told myself I'm going to make the best of it. I'm going to listen. I'll go back and listen again. Like someone told me yesterday that she went back to listen to another session and then she heard things that she wasn't hearing. Go back and listen to this session. If you know anybody that wasn't on, that didn't listen to it, tell them, send it to them. Let people get this kind of knowledge. This is the kind of knowledge that you don't get on a normal day. So these are one of the benefits of this lockdown season, where lots of knowledge is being distributed on social media and people are so ready to give. Once again, from me and all our followers, we're saying a very big thank you. Someone said, I just want to commend her for being so down to earth, real, sharing her personal experiences. That's how Auntie Osayi is. She's always ready to give. She's down to earth, powerful, yet simple and sweet. Thank you so much, Auntie Osayi. We really appreciate you coming on
so
today.
much.
It's been a great opportunity. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right then. Bye, everyone. Thank you for having me. Bye.
Yeah, bye, ma'am. All right, guys. So that was Auntie Osayi. Strong, yet simple, down to earth, powerful, great works. She's been in the nonprofit sector for 20 years. She's ready to share her experience. She talked about her leadership style, and I've learned so much to learn. Someone says, how do you build networks out of your core area of influence? Well, the question came a little bit late. Auntie Osayi has left. Hopefully she can answer the question in the comment section. Or if there's anyone that has the ability to answer that question, we are going to be doing the giveaway conversations right about now. And what we want to do basically is talk about, if you have a business you're running or you're planning to start a business, from today's session, what makes you grant worthy? What would make someone want to invest in your organization, and how can you do that? Okay, so we have Itek, and he's coming up right away. Okay. Oh, well, the question dropped before she left. Oh, wow.
Hello.
Hi, Itek. I hope you had a great time today.
Sure.
How is your
It
work doing?
was
How is your
wonderful.
business doing?
Fine.
Right.
Thanks, as always. Yeah. Um, I just want to run through some of those things I was able to jot down and why the section was going on.
Great.
Yes. One of it is we need to continuously learn or school.
Yeah.
Yes. Like one of the Socratic dictum that says, the more you read, the more you know, the more you know, the more you know you don't know. You know, most times when I pick up a book to read, I get to realize that I don't even know anything. So for me, I took that continuously learning as a very powerful point for me. Then she also made mention of learning on the job or from other people. And nobody's a monopoly of knowledge. At every point in time, I always have something to learn from anybody, even though it's the least person on a team. Then find your own self stroke style. So many people don't really have a style of their own. Everybody wants to copy the trend or whatsoever that is going on.
And this
Most
is the
times
best
try and
time. This is the
create,
best time to find your style.
it is the
Find
best
yourself.
time. Exactly. So continue building. She also made mention of you have to continue whatever project you're building. Then seek for opinions from people. Like I stated initially, nobody's a monopoly of knowledge. Nobody's an island of knowledge. We have to also seek opinion most times when we're working on a particular project. Then build your communication skills, which is key. I feel or I believe when most people have a lot of ideas, but how to pass it to others, how to pass the message is at some point in time problem. So she also made mention that we should build our communication skills. The seek strong network even outside your circle. Yes, I tell people most time that I'm a politician because even as Aristotle has stated, that man is by nature a political animal. Irrespective of that, most times you have to build outside my technology kind of thing. You have to build strong network outside that cycle because it will really go a long way when you need such network.
Great.
Then learn to also follow as a leader. Most times, not only be the front person. Don't always, okay, I just want to be, and every team I find myself, I always want to be the team leader. No, she said, at times just sit back and allow other people lead because you see things from different perspectives. As a leader, you see things from a different perspective.
Great.
As a follower, you also
much,
see things from a different perspective.
Thank you. It's obvious that you took in. It's obvious that you took in as much as and as much as. Thank you so much. So we want to we have about 3 more minutes to go. So we need to get just a few more other people to let them share what they've gotten.
Okay.
Thank you very much. You've taken in so much.
That's no problem.
I also wanted. Thank you. I wanted to suggest something. If Omar is there, this question that was asked is a very good question. How do you build networks out of your core area of influence? I don't know if Omar would like to come up and give us a little bit of contribution there, because I know that you have a little bit of insight in that regard. If you would like to come up and quickly tell us or help us to answer that question. If you would like to come up and help us answer the question as to how you can build your network out of your core area of influence. Because Auntie Osayi actually talked about that don't just build networks in the business that you're doing, have other areas of business that you build your network. So would Omar like to come up and help us with that? Is Auntie Osayi here? Okay, so I'm bringing up someone that I know has the ability to answer that question.
Hey
Hi,
guys.
Omar.
Hi.
Oh my
God. How you
doing? You're looking really pretty, oh. Okay, so this is how
your
natural face looks. Wow, I didn't know. Wow, so pretty.
Yeah, thank you for the compliment.
No, I don't do it. Really, you do look great.
I've been on lockdown. Okay, quickly before this goes up, I think really it's about not just wanting to mix. For example, you even attend an event. Don't just want to speak with your friends, the people you know. Be willing to meet other people. Know other people. Be interested in people and. Ask questions, go outside of your circle. So for example, I'm in PR. I don't want to now just only know people in PR, because you need other people and you need people. I need people who are, they need you as well. It's always a two-way street, and be able to, go out of your way to be that person, So if there's something that it's maybe, for example, you're in WinBees or in another professional group, there are different, a cocktail of people there. Meet people, know people, and don't just want to stay in your circle, because once you are there, it means your circle is too small, and you definitely will be shortchanging yourself, because there's a lot more that you can do. Yeah, so
Great.
I
And that
think
actually,
we did that
I
about
remembered
it.
something as you were talking. I remember there was an event that you invited me for, and I looked at I was like, how does this, but I just thought about it. You actually need to have build networks in every area as much as possible, and then now create the
Yes.
connects. See how the
Yes, I
connection
mean,
can work.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And don't go become like a network vampire, networking
Mhm.
more. There's some people who are, they just that's all they're about. It's
Thank
really
you.
about
Thank
wanting to
you.
grab, grab, grab. Don't go
Thank you.
be that
Oh.
kind of
Don't be a
person. Yeah.
network vampire. Are you guys
Yeah. So
hearing? Some people now go over it and it becomes a
yeah,
little bit irritating and a
it
little bit
does. It
annoying.
does.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
And even
yeah,
when
yeah.
you're going
Okay, so
for
I'm
it,
gonna go
think,
now and
yeah, thank you
let
so
you
much.
bring
She's
other
answered the
people.
question. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
So you can
All
take.
right, guys. Yeah, sure. All right, guys. So we've actually had a great time. This is a full one. Please don't be a network vampire. Remember that you have to add value to people when you're going for networking. Think about collaborations in this season. And just like Auntie Osayi said, it's a time to build yourself. It's a time to be better. Everything that you need to do, check into your life. If you're an entrepreneur, you don't have a business, even into your career. And if you have a business you're running and it's actually being affected by the COVID season or the whole lockdown or whatever it is, open up yourself. Go and check what it is that you're not doing right. If you need to put structures in place, put structures in place. And that's why you need to keep learning. And Tiosai said she even learned from her team members. So she asked them what's their opinion. And she's not just asking them for them to just contribute. She's asking them because she believes strongly that they can make that difference. So guys, if you're just about to start a business, the things you need to look at are the things that she mentioned. It has to be something long-term. It has to be something that will impact the society. It has to be something worth the while, something lucrative. So guys, you've gotten so much. If you didn't get enough or you came in late, go back and listen to this session again. We are looking forward to people that will join our giveaway conversations. And coming soon is our SME packages. We're going to be partnering with some individuals and organizations to sponsor and help some SMEs that have been hit by this particular season. So look forward to it. Follow closely, join us, join every episode, follow, put on your notifications because our SME packages, our SME support packages are coming very soon and it's part of this project. Once again, thank you to Auntie Osayi. Thank you to everyone that joined the giveaway conversations. Stay close and watch and let's see who would win our giveaway for today. God bless you all. Till next episode, make the best of this season and God be with you. Thank you.